This week on ETalk, we give you tips on how to take the best smartphone pictures. Danielle gives us a lesson on how to properly wash your clothing. Eric Hernandez is here to talk about his new short film, Unhinged, and Courtney whips up some banana nice cream. All that and more coming up. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into ETalk's last show of the season. I'm Madison, here with Rachel, Nellie, and Caroline. Let's jump right into the hot gossip for this week.
So, what's been on everyone's mind, I think, in social media, the Snapchat world, is that it turns out that Blac Chyna and Kylie Jenner are best friends.
And they've been best friends this whole time?
The whole time.
We were bamboozled.
We've been punked, I think.
Is this?
I'm not sure I believe it, though.
Yeah. Here's my thinking. So, maybe they're forming some weird, unique, new modern family, which,
oh my gosh,
more the power to you. But
even
also,
more modern than they already are.
Yeah, they're pretty modern. 3 theories: Illuminati, Modern Family, or publicity stunt.
Publicity
straight
stunt.
up.
The last one being the most.
I feel like either way, it's a publicity stunt. If they really have been friends all along, and they're just now coming out being like, no, we're tight. A little
ridiculous.
late.
I feel like it's kind of
no
fake,
way.
the fact that they said, oh, we've been friends this whole time. Maybe the makeup is real, but definitely haven't been friends this whole time.
Right, that's what I was going to say, is I just don't think it's possible to, that's a complete turnaround.
Just from both sides, how do you recover from something like that?
I don't think Rob and Blac Chyna are going to last, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, I do.
Really?
He Instagrammed a picture of her saying, "My wife." They could be married.
I also
we
feel
just
like
don't know.
he is the type of person that, as if I know him, but I feel like
My good friend.
Yeah, my good friend Rob, and I chatted on the phone. Him and Adrienne Bailon were pretty serious.
He was
my
in love
gosh.
with her.
Exactly.
And then he cheated on her.
They were so young.
Can you imagine
were
if
actually
he
very
cheated
young.
on Blac Chyna? That would not be good.
That would not end well for anyone.
You know who would get involved is Amber, her best friend.
scares me too.
And whose ex is she?
She is Wiz Khalifa's
Wiz
ex.
Khalifa's ex.
But
And
also
Kanye.
Kanye West's
Kanye
ex.
West, that's what I was saying.
There's
so
too
Amber
much.
Rose
There's
is
too much.
Kanye's ex.
It's all incest.
Blac Chyna is Tyga's ex.
And there was that whole
There's
Twitter
too
thing. Yeah.
much.
It's so crazy.
If the Kardashians, you know how I feel about them. I love them, but they could not get more ridiculous if they tried.
I'm still into it.
So am I.
But speaking of, relationships
Yeah.
and all that, Amy Schumer, she's dating furniture, just the best, is dating furniture designer Ben Hanish, I think is how it's pronounced. They've been dating for a few months now. Not quite a year, but I think, they're coming up on that, not soon, but eventually, obviously,
As time
like
goes.
all things. But she has always been relatively open about their relationship, posting pictures of them together and all that kind of, talking about them in different stand-ups and speeches and whatever. But she came out saying, no, I'm going to start being more private about my relationship. It's just kind of gotten out of hand. I feel like we've become, a media circus or whatever of sorts, which I always thought was, or not always could just happen, but I just think that's sort of interesting just because she's been known to be very, very open about almost everything in her
Well, in that
life.
article, she said this is kind of counterintuitive to my comedic life,
Right.
but it needs to happen. And I kind of get that, just because if you're constantly being sworn by the paparazzi in a new relationship, the guy, he's a furniture designer.
Yeah.
He must be like, what?
He's like, I'm so used to this.
Well, that's what she was saying. He's from the Midwest, and she went to his mom, and she was people are going to start calling you. People are going to start asking for quotes and comments and all that. Just tell them no comment. Just say no comment. And in an interview, she said that she got a call from his mom, and she was like, Amy, I got all of these calls of people asking me, about you, and I just told them I have no idea who you are. She's like, well, that's not really the point, because you obviously do.
It's not no comment.
Yeah.
When I first heard that, I was wondering if there's something specific that sort of made her want to bring about that change, but I think it's probably just really overwhelming. I mean, obviously,
She's in the
I'm
news
pretty
enough,
famous, but
yeah.
not as famous as her,
Yeah.
so I don't really understand.
Yeah. We deal with the same problem here at ETalk, but
There's a lot of fame.
yeah.
It's just more on a local scale.
But speaking on a national scale of fame, so George Clooney, everybody's silver fox, actually recently just went to Armenia. And Armenia didn't celebrate, but they commemorated the 101st anniversary of the Armenian genocide. But the reason why George Clooney was there is that he was presenting, along with this Holocaust survivor, I don't know if you know who this is, Elie Wiesel. He wrote the book
Read his
Night.
book?
So, and it's a great book, read it. But they presented the first ever Aurora Prize to this woman. Her name's Marguerite, and I'm going to butcher this last name. It's Tisti or something. She's from the Congo, and she's saved all these lives of these young children from all the fighting that's going on there. And she won the first ever prize. And I don't know, it's a really nice sentiment, just because in a way it all ties back to the fact that there was a genocide and you have to remember the victims.
Right.
So
I think that's great, and I think for George Clooney, marrying his wife may have been the best thing for him, because she's an amazing human rights lawyer, and he seems
incredible.
to be getting really, really involved.
yeah, he's always been an advocate against, crimes against humanity and genocide. So going to the to Armenia to commemorate the genocide seemed natural.
Right.
But she's Lebanese, and she's actually she started a scholarship in Armenia.
That's awesome.
At a college.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She
She is
Clooney
amazing.
is goals, definitely.
Well, in other news, it's a little more sad, but obviously everyone knows this. Prince passed away. He was a very private person. I think it said that he was last seen alive like on Wednesday at around 8 p.m. and then he went to his compound. There's a lot of rumors surrounding it. People are saying that he worked for 154 hours straight before he died, and that he died of the flu, or he died of this and that. I mean, rumors aside, I know my mom always listened to Prince, so I did too growing up. And it's a huge celebrity death, you know what I mean? And so when these things happen, there's always rumors.
I was talking to my mom about it, and I can't remember who the anchor is, but he was really, really close friends with a news anchor, and she said that the day before he died, he canceled lunch, and he never canceled anything. And she called him and said, "Is everything okay?" And he was like, "I feel a little like under the weather. Like I'll be fine. I just need to rest."
Right.
Which
That's
is just
so sad.
It's so sad.
And he has like a $300 million, like something,
I
everything
heard it was
that's
$800 million
or
that
maybe
would
it's
go
800
to
million.
his sister.
Yeah,
his
because he doesn't have an immediate heir, so there's a lot of, people are wondering where is everything going
Does
to
he
end
have
up.
children?
He did, and his only child passed
away,
It's
so,
really
yeah.
tragic.
Well, so sad, but anyways, coming up, our fashion expert Danielle gives us clever tips for the week. Don't go anywhere.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Hello, ETalkers. Welcome to ETalk's Fashion Corner. I'm Danielle, ETalk's resident fashion expert, and this week I'm showing you how to properly take care of your clothing. So, for most of you guys probably shop like I tend to shop and growing away from it, which is buying kind of cheap clothing and throwing it out whenever it gets inconvenient to take care of. However, now that we're kind of getting older and getting a little bit better about clothing and money, we can start investing in clothing that's actually made pretty well. And when you do invest in clothing, you want to make sure that you take care of it so it lasts a fair amount of time. And really one of the best ways to have clothing that lasts is to buy quality. And once you have that, you want to then make sure that you're laundering it well so that it doesn't fall apart. There are actually fabrics that say dry clean only, and that is because they might fall apart if you put them in the wash. So you do want to be careful. The tags on the inside of your collar are, believe it or not decorative. And you can actually do a really quick Google search to see what all the little symbols mean, because there's a lot of different ones out there about actually like the settings on your washing machine. They tell you a lot. So if you just take a little look at the tags and even just Google it, that'll be really, really helpful. I also personally don't really use my dryer besides to pretty much dry towels. I have a little hanging rack that folds up when I don't need it, and that actually keeps my clothes from shrinking and it helps them to last longer. Anything that you have that might have spandex in it, probably even your jeans have a little bit of stretch in them, hot air actually breaks down the spandex over time. So if you're continually putting them in the wash, it'll actually make them last a very short amount of time. You can also wash your dark clothes inside out, and that just helps to keep them staying dark for longer. I particularly wash everything in cold water. I just find it easier living in a college setting. But if you can separate your lights and your darks, washing your lights in warmer water does help them stay lighter. And that's all the time we have for now, but tune in next season for more fashion expertise. Next up is the Mosley Minute. Stay tuned.
Oh no, no, no. Don't funk with my heart. It's all about the biopics these days. We got the Miles Davis one coming out. Don Cheadle, you're gonna do great. There was The Theory of Everything. In this biopic about my own life, which has just been riddled with amazing occurrence after amazing occurrence, I would say Tom Hanks, just because he already did Forrest Gump, and that's probably like everything he goes through. Like I go through really similar stuff.
And he was Woody in Toy Story, the voice of. Let's ask Elon students what they think. So, if you could have a movie about your life, which is probably going to happen at some point, let's be honest, who would you have play yourself, Anna, and why?
Definitely Maya Rudolph.
Who is she? No, I know who Maya Rudolph is.
She is on SNL, and a lot of people tell me that I remind them of her as well.
Well, I think she's very funny, so I don't really see why they are reminded of you.
If for some reason there was a biopic about you, who would play you?
100% Amy Schumer.
So Mary,
Sorry.
the imminent biopic about your life, who would play you?
A lot of people say that I remind them of Kristen Wiig from Bridesmaids, like, since her life is also a mess. It's both an insult and a compliment, honestly, so I would say Kristen Wiig.
Okay. What I learned from everyone's answers today is people think really highly of themselves.
Yeah, they think they deserve these smart, talented actors and actresses to play them in these movies, but I tend to disagree.
Anyways, I'm Madison.
I'm Rachel. This is the last Mosley Minute that myself and my dear friend, and also Madison, will participate in. For the Mosley Minute, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Madison for the last time.
Hey, I'm Tyler Perry. Do you know what hunger in America looks like? Well, it has many faces, and 16 million of those belong to children. Yet billions of pounds of food go to waste each year, and this is unacceptable. You can be a part of the solution. Join us in supporting the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks, which rescues our surplus foods and provides meals to many families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org today. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to the studio. I'm here with Eric Hernandez, whose short film Unhinged is coming out soon. We have a special sneak peek at one of the scenes from the film. Take a look.
Jesus Christ. There he is. Wow. You look better than I thought you would. Do I know you? You tell me. Not bad. Not exactly my style, but... Can I help you with something? I'll take a glass of water and some crackers if you have them. I'm kidding, dude. Relax. How you doing?
I'm sorry.
Crash?
Oh, one better?
Hey, getting somebody else pulled you out, right?
You.
Yeah. Don't mention it, though. Now, who is this?
It's my girlfriend.
She's yours. Come on, man. Don't lie to me.
What's so funny?
It's just a girl like that, you know, shouldn't have to settle.
You don't even know me.
I've seen enough.
Wow, so that looks pretty intense.
Thank you.
So could you just give, and I should mention that the scene isn't quite finalized.
No, it's not
still
quite
in the
finalized.
works.
You have a
I was
couple
very
audio
impressed
and-
still, but
thank you.
I guess it's still in the works. So what is sort of the plot of the film? If you
Yeah,
could
so
brief overview.
Unhinged follows Jack is his name, and it's a young man who recently experienced a traumatic car accident, and so when he's trying to recover, a stranger appears at his front door and begins to invade both his life and his relationship. And so it's the story of how he must fight to hold on to the woman he loves while also protecting his life from the stranger who seems to have other plans.
Wow, that sounds pretty intense. Where did the idea for the film come from?
I actually got the idea 2 years ago.
Wow.
I was watching Fight Club, David Fincher's Fight Club, for
Yeah,
the first time
great
with my
film.
roommate, and I just started talking things out with him, and it was kind of like Fight Club, Beautiful Mind, and a video game, The Darkness 2, kind of all inspired it, and so I just started writing. And 2 years later, here we are.
That's crazy. So it's been a long process for the film itself. Have you always known that you wanted to get into filmmaking, that sort of thing?
Yeah, since I was 9, actually.
Wow.
I remember I saw the first Harry Potter movie with my dad, and it's one of my favorite memories. But what I saw in my mind when reading the book and what I saw on screen, they were so similar. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to take something so creative and so imaginative on page and bring it into real life.
That's pretty cool. That's been something that you've been passionate about for so long. As far as the film itself and making it, what was sort of the process of the technical aspect of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, a film, it's a long film. It's 18
Right.
minutes right now.
Wow.
And this was the biggest film I'd ever attempted. This is a very ambitious story and project. And so, without the BFA program to kind of say you have a timeline, I don't think I would have put as much effort into it. But it started. I had my rough drafts from 2 years ago, and I brought it and I said, "This is the story I want to work on." And we just started, workshopping, and I started watching movies and kind of reading up on, different kind of mental PTSD and other, mental illnesses and a couple other things like that that all feed into the story. And, then after that, I started saying, okay, well, now that I have a rough idea, let's start producing. And so we started finding our actors, and they've been in things like The Vampire Diaries and whatnot, which is really cool. They're all local,
cool.
and I got to bring them the story and say, would you like to be a part of this?
Wow.
And they said yes. And then I started fundraising. And so I did an Indiegogo, and I wrote proposals to people who I knew were wealthy. And we ended up raising $10,000.
That's insane.
And so, that gave us a lot of other opportunities in both technically, just with the equipment that we could get and whatnot. And it was really big. And my crew came from Colorado.
That's wow.
So
it must have been crazy to see something like that in your mind sort of come to life. And I'm sure the final product is going to be incredible. So thank you so much. That's all the time we have. But next up, we share our celebrity Oh No No of the week. You don't want to miss this.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Hey Nellie, did you hear the buzzing news?
Oh, you mean how the Beehive went crazy this weekend?
Yes, because Beyonce dropped her new album, and there are all types of signs saying Jay-Z cheated on her with some girl named Becky.
Cheating on Beyonce, that is definitely a no.
This weekend, she dropped her new album, with no warning, of course, in typical Beyonce style. The album, Lemonade, was instantly trending and available on Tidal, and now it's available on iTunes.
In the song Sorry from her album, Beyonce sings, "He only want me when I'm not there, and he better call Becky with the good hair." The Beehive immediately took to social media, commenting on who they believe Becky to be.
So remember that whole Solange fighting Jay-Z in the elevator incident happened a little while ago in 2014?
Yes, that was cray.
Ain't it, Jay?
Our humor is horrible. Anyways, I totally remember that incident. Everyone thought Solange was defending her sister's honor by attacking Jay-Z because rumors had been swirling about Jay-Z cheating on Beyonce with some girl named Rachel.
Rachel, yes, Rachel Roy.
You mean my girl Rachel Ray from the kitchen stole Queen Bee's man?
No, not Rachel Ray, Rachel Roy. She's friends with the Kardashians and a fashion designer. It's funny though because everybody thought that Rachel Roy was Rachel Ray, so on Twitter, the Beehive went nuts. Yeah.
Thank goodness it's not Rachel Ray.
Thank goodness. But Roy just canceled an appearance she was supposed to make today amid all the controversy. And guess what? She posted an Instagram, which has now been taken down, with the caption, "Good hair, don't care, but we will take good lighting for selfies or self-truth always. Live in the light, hashtag no drama queens."
Does this mean the girl with good hair is Rachel Roy? Nobody can mess with Queen Bee. What a huge oh no. Anyway, up next, we talk clever ways to make your smartphone pictures look fabulous.
Smartphone pictures can be terrible, or they can look like they were taken on a really nice camera. There have been movies filmed on iPhone cameras, and we're going to give you some pointers on how to get the most out of your smartphone camera.
Well, anybody have any tips?
My favorite photo editor that I think, first of all, I think the iPhone 6 camera is amazing, and that's just personally the one I'm familiar with, but I've heard that the Galaxy cameras are really great too. But one of the photo editor apps that I think is the best is actually Visco. I know it has a social media component, which is it's like Instagram, except there's no captions or anything, and you can't really like it.
About this,
yeah, it's more Tumblr.
People put it in their Instagram descriptions
yeah,
sometimes.
and it's just
if their Instagram's locked, I can click on it and see what they look like.
Interactive, I guess. It's just more like I do that too.
This feels like it makes me feel very old because I really don't know what it is, and I'm not that old. But like, it's a very like it seems to be like
it's a very much younger generation.
Yeah, it's a little bit younger.
No, kids from my high school use it a lot more than people I know
But you can also, what I use it for is its photo editing side of it, and I think it makes pictures look amazing. I almost said it.
I'm an Afterlight.
I love Afterlight.
And I'm pretty sure it costs what, like
nothing.
It's free?
I think.
It used to be free, and now
Aviary is free. Afterlight
I think I got Afterlight when it was
it's like
free.
it's like
it used to be free, but now
I
it's
paid
not.
for it, but I'm saying it's worth it.
So from someone who's never used Afterlight, give me the lowdown.
You can just edit your photo.
It's essentially like Instagram, like how Instagram has become. But it was sort of, before Instagram, it's a little more like comprehensive, like you can do everything.
It's a little bit more like Photoshop or the iPhoto on your computer.
Yeah, exactly.
But something that I highly recommend not using is this app called Perfect 365.
Yep.
Isn't that what the Kardashians use?
I don't know what they use, but
seems
it's
like it
out
is.
of control. So basically
You
what
can
I
tell
see,
every time.
you can tell every time. The point of a photo app editor, in my opinion, is subtlety.
And enhance.
Or enhance.
What you already have, not
Yeah, when
blur.
your entire face is literally looks like a baby's bottom, it's so airbrushed, it's so bad. And then your teeth are whitened and your eyes are brightened and your eyelashes are extended. It's like,
it's insane.
What?
It's insane.
That isn't you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I have a bit of an old-fashioned tip for everybody. Golden hour between the 5 o'clock, 6:30 range. These days, it's more around 6:30 because it's later in the year. Golden hour really does wonders, and that's sort of like, I think, a technical term in like film and TV, where at that hour the lighting is perfect. You look really beautiful.
Oh, I thought you were talking about posting.
No,
'cause there's a golden hour for posting.
I didn't
You can get
know
an
that.
app that tells you when's the best time. I wrote a paper for my media analytics class.
No, I just mean the sunlight, like the good old sun. At that time of day, it reduces
I'm always
the
thinking
shadow
about
on
the
your
lights.
face.
Yes.
It makes your lens a little more, I don't know, beautiful.
Does it give it that like film kind of on soap operas?
A little.
Does it give me a new
little
face? Because that's what I could use.
Oh my God.
Kidding, I love myself.
That's an old fashioned. If you don't want to spend money, don't want to
Yeah.
get an app, you want to be natural, as they say.
With a natural lighting.
But if you don't want to wait for the golden hour, there's the Diva phone case.
True.
The Diva Light phone case.
Oh my gosh.
That is
Selfie anywhere, anytime?
It's basically
It looks ridiculous.
It's as if you took these studio lights and compacted them to a little frame.
It's what Kim
around.
Kardashian has.
I don't
Definitely
need
has.
these studio
Oh, but you
lights
know
all
what?
the
Kim
time.
Kardashian has a posse. Kim Kardashian has
Oh, you better
literally
believe it.
a group of people who hold their phones or lights on her, shine it on her, and then she takes the perfect selfie.
I feel like half the time she's in her personal, like by her personal vanity, which has the perfect
I
lighting.
feel like there's a much better use of time for those people.
Did they get paid
should be
specifically for
doing.
that?
I'm not
I'd
sure.
love to find out.
Next season on ETalk.
Tune in next season to find out.
Next up, Courtney makes some ice cream with bananas called Nice Cream for our weekly cooking segment.
Hey Talkers, Courtney here, and welcome to Eat Talk, where we bring you everything from Italian to Mexican. Today I'll be making for you some banana nice cream, a healthy alternative to dessert. Let's get started. so, so good. And this flavor is peanut butter and chocolate, but you can basically do this with any flavor. As long as you have frozen bananas, you can add matcha powder to it, some strawberries for some strawberry ice cream. The possibilities are endless.
Welcome back, ETalkers. The show is almost over, but before that, we are going to talk about a new box office trend where old animated movies are being remade into live action films. So what do you guys have for us today?
Okay, well first I'll start off because I'm very excited about this. Beauty and the Beast is being remade into a live action. Emma Watson is Belle, which is just like
the perfect casting.
It's going to be
awesome.
It's going to be so great. And also the CGI characters, because they are still obviously using CGI for Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, but they have really big names for those characters as well. Emma Thompson is going to be Mrs. Potts. Ewan McGregor is going to be Lumiere, and then Ian McKellen is going to be Cogsworth. So they just have such a great cast for that, and I'm personally so excited.
I'm glad when they do movies right and they get good actors to be in the film, just because Beauty and the Beast is like, I think my second favorite princess.
It's my personal favorite.
And it's going to be so fun to see it because like with Cinderella, we've seen so many different live action remakes of Cinderella. And for Beauty and the Beast, this is going to be...
We don't really have
that. We don't have that yet. And it's, right, like you said, the perfect casting with Emma Watson.
She's perfect.
And, I mean, perfect.
Like, I love her. And I was very excited and seeing Josh Gad as the sidekick, and he posted a picture, and I'm just like, you're all so perfect. Like, it's so perfect. So I feel like that's going to be great. Did you see Cinderella?
I did not see the last live action film of Cinderella, but, I mean, there are so many different films for Cinderella. I mean, we have the Cinderella story movies with Selena Gomez and Hilary Duff.
Less
I mean,
great.
What? I like Hilary Duff.
Oh no, Hilary Duff is great. Selena was like,
yeah, that wasn't. I didn't like that one as much.
Guys, I like them all. But hey, I'm a Cinderella sucker, so I love Cinderella. But then we can go back to like 101 Dalmatians, which was made in 1996.
Honestly, the live action one of that film scared me so much, just because seeing the story, the puppies, but also Cruella de Vil as a real person and not as a cartoon anymore was so scary. I was like, oh, I don't want to see that. So yeah, I love the original, but not a huge fan of the live action one.
Yeah. And it's being remade, right?
Is it? No, I don't think so. I think it was just, I think it's 101 and then 102.
102. And that one came out. Remember when Selena Gomez did the song for it? Cruella de Vil?
Oh my gosh. That's like
throwback.
It feels so old.
Classic.
I know.
Yeah. Well, something that is close to my heart, because they are remaking the Little Mermaid, not the Disney version, but the original Hans Christian Andersen story.
Okay.
I actually took a class in Hans Christian Andersen specifically, so I'm very familiar with the story. It's very different than the Disney
I've heard it's
tale.
a lot darker.
It's very dark. Chloe Grace Moretz is supposed to be the Little Mermaid.
Not feeling it. Not feeling that.
See, I think it's going to be so good.
I like her as an actress.
I love her. I think that she can take on really dark roles.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a fan.
I don't know. I love
Thank
her.
you, Allie. Thank you, Katie. But that's all we have time for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Until next season, this is ETalk.